Hi everyone, my name is Jada Lala and I am the Academic and Career Enrichment Graduate Assistant for Alana Services, and I just want to welcome you to the first ACE workshop of the semester. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite things to talk about, which is self-care and wellness, and creating a personal wellness plan so that you can just be more intentional about taking care of yourself. So to start off, I wanted to just talk about what wellness is in the first place. So, it's defined as the state of being in good health, especially as an actively pursued goal. And that last part in bold is super important. But first, I want to talk about what wellness actually includes. So, like, the first thing people may think of is your physical well being, like eating well and drinking water and sleeping and just taking care of your physical health. But wellness and good health includes every aspect of your life. So your social life is part of that. Your environment, like the physical spaces you're in, like that's part of your wellness. Your mental health is definitely part of your wellness. So just think about everything, like think of wellness in a holistic way as we're moving through the workshop today. And so that last part about wellness being an actively pursued goal, um, that's basically what the whole workshop is about. It's just taking your goals around how you would like to take care of yourself and actively taking steps to make sure you're pursuing your wellness on a day to day basis. So you could think of wellness as the goal and then self care as your way or the steps of how you're going to reach that goal. So next, I just want to touch on like why are we even talking about this as part of academic and career enrichment? Well, it has everything to do with academic and career enrichment because when you're taking time to invest in your personal well-being, that is going to have an effect on how well you perform at school or on your future job. So self-care, like it's really important. Like in my program, I'm taking ethics right now, and we're talking about how it's literally like our ethical responsibility or our ethical duty to take care of ourselves because how can we do our job effectively if we're not, at our best to be able to do our job to the best ability that we can. So, some of the things that you will notice when you start to take care of yourself and be more intentional about self care, you'll be more energized and you'll be able to concentrate better in class. You'll be more alert and focused. You'll have a better mood. You'll be more creative in your work. And the last one, which is super important, you'll be able to cope with stress a whole lot better when you've taken time to invest in your wellness. And that's important to all of us as students because that's just the nature of being a student. Um, you're going to experience challenges and stressors, and it's important to be able to navigate those things effectively. And one of the best ways to do that is to just make sure your overall well-being is where it needs to be. So now we're going to talk about a wellness plan. Like you keep hearing me say, we're going to make a wellness plan, but like, what is it? So, for me, it's just a way to really be intentional about how you're caring for yourself because especially being a student, you're super busy. Those activities can fall through the cracks. Like you may be prioritizing your schoolwork a lot more than your self-care, and that's not good. So having a plan is just a way to make sure that that area of your life is taken care of, that you are actively pursuing wellness, instead of just thinking like, oh, I need to drink more water, or oh, I need to make sure I'm exercising or I'm reading if that's part of my self care. Like instead of just engaging in wishful thinking. Having a plan gives you a way to make sure that those things actually get done. And it also helps to hold you accountable so that you are consistently investing in your self care so that you hopefully never or very rarely reach a place of burnout. So think of like a plant. If you just, go about your day to day, you kind of ignore the plant until you notice like it's all shriveled up and almost dead, and then you choose to water it. Well, that's not very effective, or that's not good. So you want to be watering it a little every day to make sure that it doesn't even get to that point. So that's how I see a wellness plan kind of helping us to make sure we're taking care of ourselves on a regular basis so that we can hopefully keep ourselves from getting to the point where we're just totally burnt out. And so now we're actually going to talk about how you can create a plan of your own. So I see it as taking place, or you walk through 3 steps to create a wellness plan. So the first step is going to be reflection. Then you're going to brainstorm some ideas and activities. And then the last part is taking into account how you plan to hold yourself accountable and just be intentional, so that you make sure you get these things done. So the first part, reflection, it's all about just being self-aware, because the purpose of a wellness plan is to kind of help solve a problem. But how can you solve a problem if you don't even know what it is? So the first thing you're going to want to think about is, just consider each area of wellness, each area of your life, and notice what's going well. Notice things that you may want to see improvement in, because that's gonna help you develop your actual plan later on in the next step. And then, as part of this reflection phase of the process, you're gonna want to also think about what your signs of burnout are. So, if in the first part of this you notice like, I think things are going really well, and you're feeling good about where you are, it may be helpful to think about a time where you weren't feeling as good. How did you know you weren't doing well? And so if in the first part you notice that things aren't going so well, how do you know that? Like, what do you notice is going on that signals to you, hey, I need to take some time to care for myself and to get back to a place of wellness. So for me, like a very visible visual sign that I am kind of burnt out is my room is messy, because I'll get so wrapped up in my work and just feel really overwhelmed. And so at the end of the day or the end of the week, I'm just so tired and exhausted that it's hard to make time or find energy to take care of those, you know, chores and just small things around the house. So like my physical space can get messy, and that signals to me, hey, like maybe you need to take some time to rest so you can get your energy back up and clean up your room. And so something else that I notice in myself is, like physical signs of burnout, like being tense or like having tightness in your chest or in your back, just signals to me that, like I'm feeling stressed, or maybe I'm feeling super anxious, and that's more of a psychological or emotional sign that I'm burnt out. So just try to think of those things for yourself, because having that knowledge and that self awareness will just help you. Again, I've been using this word so much, but just be intentional about taking care of yourself, because you'll be able to recognize those problems and then deal with them. So then the next thing would be to brainstorm the activities that you want to incorporate as part of your self-care routine. So to help you do that, you just want to think about, what am I doing right now that I find helpful? What have I done in the past that has been helpful? And even try to think outside the box and consider things you haven't tried that may help you as you're pursuing this goal of wellness. And so, as part of the description of the video, you'll find a link to a PDF, a worksheet that will help walk you through this whole process of developing a self-care or wellness plan. And so on that worksheet, there's lots of activities listed so you can identify what you do and then even get some ideas for things you may want to try too. So definitely make use of that worksheet, and that is from the Counseling Center. So thank you to them. And one final thing of this on this step is you want to think about, like, when are you going to do each of these activities? So let's say you're like, okay, I want to drink more water to care for myself. That's, to me, that would be a daily activity. So you just want to know, what am I going to do every day? What am I going to do once a week, or maybe every now and then, or once a month? Yeah, so like a weekly activity, maybe working out, that would be like a few times a week. And then maybe every now and then, or as often as you can, make time to um, socialize and be with friends and family, because that can be part of your self care too. Um, and so the last step is just planning ahead, thinking through what are some challenges you might face that may prevent you from reaching these goals that you just identified. So you're going to want to think about what those obstacles are and ways that you will be able to address them if they are to um, come up for you. And so another part of this step is just identifying tools or strategies to help yourself stay on track. So, some of the ones I have, like, you can schedule your activities that you identified in the last step. You can add those to your planner so they're actually part of your schedule, so you know you have time for them. You can set reminders in your phone on the day of, so that you can make sure you show up to these activities and kind of treat it just like you would a doctor's appointment, something you don't want to miss. Um, and then you can also, just after writing your plan down, it may be helpful to hang it up on your wall or just put it somewhere where you'll see it every day so that you can make sure you stick to it. And then another helpful thing would be to just revisit your goals and your plan often so that you can make adjustments when necessary. So, maybe working out several times a week, like 5 times a week was your original goal, and you find that doesn't really work for you, but you still want to incorporate working out as part of your self care, maybe go back to your plan and adjust that and pick different days, or reduce the time to like 3 times a week and see how that works for you. And then just keep practicing it until it becomes a habit. Because it does take time, and that's okay. But the main thing is just that you're always working towards that goal, so that you can be in the very best place that you can be, and maintain that sense or state of wellness. And so, just to kind of summarize everything, I want to share an example of someone walking through the process. So, let's call our example person Sam. So, Sam is going to reflect on how things are going right now. And so, after some reflection, Sam is like, okay, um, I'm really stressed out. Like, I notice I'm super tired. It's hard to get work done nowadays. I'm not spending time with friends like I used to. And so there are some things that he wants to change or improve. So he's like, all right, I went to the ACE workshop. I'm going to start making this wellness plan. And so Sam's going to brainstorm some of the things he used to do when he was feeling good, to kind of help him maintain that state of wellness. So in the past, Sam was like eating a lot better, sleeping more. So he decides, okay, I'm going to try to get my 8 hours of sleep every day. And I'm going to try to reduce my eating out to, like, let's say he's eating out every day of the week. So maybe we try reducing that to 5 times a week and trying to cook at home most of the time. So then moving on to the last step, how is he going to hold himself accountable? Maybe he's going to, make reminders to write his grocery list so he can make sure he has what he needs to make those meals at home at the start of the week, or just scheduling reminders in his phone that it's time to start winding down so that he can make sure he gets enough sleep at night. And also just putting reminders up on his wall so that he remembers, oh yeah, these are things I'm working on, these are goals that I have, and I'm going to try to stick to them. So, just some final things. There are plenty of campus resources available to you all that can help you as you're thinking about what you're going to include in your plan and just your overall self care and wellness. So, of course, we have the Counseling Center. And as part of your plan, you may say, hey, I think I want to work with them or try out some of their services as part of my self care. And we also have the Department of Recreation and Wellness, and they actually have a um, page on their website that's all about wellness and the different areas of wellness. So I'll definitely include that um, with the video as well. And then, of course, we have the FAQ, which is a great resource and tool to have. For those of you who want to incorporate physical activity as part of your self care and wellness plan. And then once again, we have that worksheet that I'm going to include as well. And that will just help you to walk through this process on your own and brainstorm some self care ideas and develop your plan. So, thank you all so much. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Definitely be on the lookout for um, promotion materials around the upcoming workshops. And just thank you all for joining us for this first ACE workshop. And I look forward to seeing you all throughout the rest of the semester. So I hope to see y'all soon. Bye.